Hi friends! Today we are making some artist trading cards. I have a few of them cut up here, and to make these cards I am also testing out 4 different brands of colored pencils because, you know what, they kind of all look the same to me. I mean, same kind of packaging, same barrel, so we're gonna see what this is all about. Now you can see here, not a single one of these pencil sets has reached double digits in price. Each one is like $4, $5, maybe $6, and that's it. Now, first up, I swatched the Craft Studio ones, and the colors look pretty good. So now we're gonna do the other 3. I'm joking, it's already done. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I'm kind of impressed with how pigmented they are. The colors are pretty vibrant. The lead is pretty nice to work with. Like, it feels nice. So yeah, I think it's time to put these to a drawing and see how they hold up. And to make things easier on myself, I'm just going to draw a donut on each card. I'll switch up the colors. This way they're not all the same and we can keep track of like which pencils drew which donut. But yeah, I want to keep this as simple as possible while still getting a full read on how well these pencils work. So I'm starting with the Craft Studio pencils, and I'm gonna start the donut with the only brown in the package, which is mildly annoying. I could have used a light tan color, and I'm realizing there's not even a white, which also doesn't help. I could use a white colored pencil, but okay. I will say though, honestly, these pencils were very easy to work with. They layered and blended beautifully. Unfortunately, the lighter yellow color wasn't bright enough or pigmented enough to like stand out against the regular yellow, but I managed to make it work. I just added some extra brown outside of that little line. I don't know what that little line is called, but you know what I mean. You see it on donuts all the time, that little line that's paler than the rest of it. And not to gush about these pencils more, but to gush about these pencils more, you can see I'm continuously adding on more and more layers, and it's all just effortless, and it's wonderful. I'm honestly having a lot of fun coloring with these pencils. It does kind of suck that there are so few, like there's only 24 colors, and there's a lot you can do with 24 colors, but again, there's no white. There's only one shade of brown. So yeah, I think if I was able to get these pencils with like a lot more color options, I would be so freaking happy. I would probably use these regularly, to be honest. The leads are not quite as smooth and buttery as Prismacolor, but they're not as hard as like Polychromos either, like the Faber-Castell. They kind of feel like a nice in-between, like just a little bit softer than Crayola. And yeah, you can see because the sets only come with one shade of brown, I'm using black to darken it up a little bit. And I'm coloring the entire background just to fill up the rest of the card and also see how these pencils do with like larger spaces of just one flat color. And that's honestly really nice too. I didn't work too hard on making it all smooth and blendy, but I honestly don't feel like I had to. Like, it just looks nice. I like how this came out. I really like these pencils. I'm pleasantly surprised. So yeah, those were the Craft Studio colored pencils. Moving on to the Paper Tales colored pencils. Again, the barrels are very much the same. The performance was very much the same. I'm not really sure what to say here. I might just speed through this part. Hang on. All right, it's in super speed, so we save time. But basically, I'm doing the donut part the same exact way. I'm just going to do a different color frosting. And I'm actually going for a vanilla frosting on this one, which you really can't see it very well, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm using a little bit of yellow to add some shading. And guys, get the precision on those sprinkles. Oh, they look so good. These pencils are really, really impressing me. Like the fact that they can hold a tip well enough to do those little pretty lines. Yeah, I like them. They did a good job. So those are the Paper Tales pencils. So far, the performance, even though I love how well they're doing, it's still the same between the two of them. So let's move on to the first package of the Simply Sketch pencils. And for this donut, I'm actually starting with black so that I can make this into a chocolate donut. And just to clear up the elephant in the room, yes, I said first package. The last one is also Simply Sketch. So realistically, I probably don't need to review both of them or try both of them out in theory. But actually, I did get 2 different sets of the Sargent Art colored pencils. I don't know what happened, but the 2 different packages of the Sargent Art wound up being 2 completely different colors. Even though the packaging looked the same, the colors were different. So yeah, I wanted to test them both just to be thorough. But going back to the pencils at hand, I do think I was able to get like a nice color, like a nice chocolate donut color there with just the black and brown. So that was nice. What wasn't nice though was my choice in frosting color. I'm going with an orange frosting, so I'm using like some red to deepen some of the darker areas. But like looking back, I should have done mint chocolate chip. This should have been a mint chocolate chip donut. But that's on me, not the pencils, so that's my mistake. But hey, the first package of the Simply Sketch did well despite my bad choices, so I'm not complaining. Moving on to the second package of the Simply Sketch pencils. And you know, the packaging looks very, very different from the first one. Like the first one was white like a notebook, and this one's all rainbowy and pretty. I don't know why this happens. But for this donut, I'm actually going red velvet. So I'm laying down some black in the darkest areas, and then I'm putting a layer of brown in between them and leaving that little seam, I think I would call it. I don't know if that's right, but I'm leaving that space to be perfectly red, and then I'm using brown for the rest of it to make it look like it's baked, even though donuts are deep fried. And then using the same technique that I did on the vanilla frosting, except this is cream cheese, but I'm still using a yellow colored pencil to get some shading in so that it's not bright white. And then using black to darken some of these, not sprinkles. I was trying to go for like a chocolate shavings kind of look. I don't know how well I achieved that, but that's what I was going for. And then just layering some brown on top of it. And instead of a solid color background, I'm adding some fancy looking little lines just to get a little bit of that elegance that red velvet always makes us think of. And that is the second set of the Simply Sketch. Say that 5 times fast. Also, this happened. Okay. And that is it, friends. That is all 4 of these pencils tested. I will say they are definitely all the same. They really are. The Craft Studio, the Paper Tales, and both packages of Simply Sketch. They both have a surprisingly good amount of pigment to them. I wouldn't say they're like super high quality, but they work pretty well. They blend nicely. They layer beautifully. And if anything, I just wish these pencils, these packages, like came with a white colored pencil and also had bigger collections. My official Danny rating will be an 8.5 out of 10. I definitely think you should give these pencils a try if you haven't already. If you happen to see any of them floating around, pick them up. You know, like I said before, they're all less than $10 each. But with all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!